Picture this. You're descending toward the coast of northeast China, and below you there is no land. Just dark, open ocean, stretching all the way to the horizon, and then it appears. An island. Not a natural one, no beach, no rock, no forest, no fishing village. Just a perfect, man-made slab of earth sitting in the middle of the sea, with 4 runways carved across its surface, and a terminal big enough to swallow an entire town. This island did not exist a few years ago. There was nothing here but waves. Engineers built it, from scratch, out of the ocean itself. And it's about to become the single largest airport ever constructed on water, anywhere on planet Earth. We're talking about roughly 20 square kilometers of brand new land, conjured out of open ocean where there used to be nothing at all. That's bigger than the artificial island under Hong Kong's airport, which the world once considered one of the great engineering achievements of its era. It's nearly double the size of Japan's famous Kansai airport, the one engineers spent decades holding up as proof you could build runways on the sea. China didn't just match those two. It looked at the 2 most ambitious island airports on the planet and decided to build something that makes both of them look small. And here's the part that should make you sit up. While most of the world is still arguing about whether it can afford to repave a single runway or fighting for 10 years over one new terminal, China quietly sailed out into the sea and started manufacturing land, square kilometer by square kilometer, as if making new ground out of open water was just another item on a to-do list. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how they're physically building an airport on top of the ocean, why a city of millions was backed into this insane plan, what happened the last time someone tried it, and the one detail buried in the engineering that has aviation experts around the world genuinely uneasy. If this is the kind of thing you find fascinating, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. It genuinely helps push this channel to more people who love this stuff. Now, let's get into it. To understand why anyone would build an airport in the middle of the sea, you first have to understand Dalian. It's a port city sitting right at the tip of a peninsula in northeast China. Water on 3 sides, somewhere between 6 and 8 million people. And this is no sleepy coastal town. It's an industrial powerhouse of oil refineries, shipping, and logistics, doing constant, heavy business with its neighbors Japan and South Korea, both just across the water. The problem? Dalian's old airport was being strangled to death. It's called Zhoushuizi, and it first opened roughly a century ago, back when the area was under Japanese occupation. An airport whose bones were laid down before the jet engine even existed, now expected to carry the air traffic of a modern megacity. They expanded it 5 separate times, and it still wasn't enough. Here's the trap they were caught in. As the city exploded, it grew up around the airport. Today, it's completely surrounded by dense urban sprawl buildings, highways, and millions of people pressed right up against the edge of the runway. There is physically no room left to add a single new runway. None. It's boxed in on every side, like a tree planted in a pot 3 sizes too small. And it gets worse. Dalian sits in a natural bowl ringed by mountains, so when the weather turns ugly, those mountains turn routine takeoffs and landings into genuinely dangerous work. So picture the full situation. A maxed-out century-old airport, trapped by a city that won't stop growing, hemmed in by mountains that make bad weather deadly, and a population that just keeps flying more every year. They were completely stuck. There was no flat, open, buildable land anywhere near the city large enough for the airport Dalian actually needed, except for one place, the sea. Just north of the city center sits Jinzhou Bay, and at some point, someone in a planning office looked out at that open water and made a decision that sounds completely unhinged the first time you hear it. If there's no land left to build on, then we will simply make our own. Build the land first, and the airport second. This is where most people picture something simple, dumping a giant pile of rocks into shallow water until something pokes above the surface. The reality is so much more brutal and so much more precise. Because here's the thing nobody talks about. The genuinely hard part of building an island airport isn't making the island appear. It's making the island stay still for 100 years, while jumbo jets weighing hundreds of tons slam down onto it thousands of times a day. So how do you actually manufacture an island strong enough to hold an international airport? It starts on the seabed itself. Before a single grain of new land is placed, engineers have to deal with the soft, waterlogged mud on the ocean floor. Pile an airport on top of that mush, and it will sink, tilt, and crack apart, like setting a brick on a wet sponge. So they perform what's called deep foundation treatment, compacting, draining, and reinforcing the seabed across enormous areas to turn that soft mud into something solid enough to build a civilization on. In Dalian's case, they've already finished this across a vast stretch of the bay before the airport even rises. Then comes the reclamation, and this is the part that looks like science fiction. Massive dredging ships move across the bay, sucking up sand and sediment from the seafloor and pumping astronomical volumes of it into place, raising solid ground out of the water meter by meter until an entire island exists where there used to be only sea. And every layer has to be locked down because the whole structure is in a slow-motion fight against an ocean that spends every single day trying to claim the land back. The total price tag? Around 4.3 billion US dollars, roughly 26 billion yuan. And the timeline stretches out to around 2035. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because building on the sea is not a new idea. Someone has tried this before, on a smaller scale, and what happened to them became the great cautionary tale of modern aviation. Remember Kansai? The Japanese airport China is now trying to outsize? When it opened, it was hailed as one of the engineering wonders of the world. An entire international airport on a man-made island off the coast of Osaka. Engineers celebrated it as proof that humanity could build runways wherever it wanted, even out at sea. And then it started doing something nobody could fully stop. It started sinking. The island Kansai sits on has been settling into the seabed for decades, slowly, relentlessly pressing down into the soft ground beneath it. Inch by inch, year after year, the whole airport has been sinking into the sea it was built on, forcing engineers to spend staggering sums just to keep it level and above water. Kansai became the warning written in concrete. Build on the sea, and the sea will patiently, quietly try to swallow you whole. So when China announced an island airport nearly double the size of Kansai, the obvious, uncomfortable question hung in the air. Have they actually solved the problem the Japanese engineers couldn't? Or are they about to build the most expensive, slowly sinking airport in the history of the human race? That's the gamble at the heart of this entire project. And the size of the bet is staggering, because this was never designed as a vanity showpiece. It's built to handle brutal, relentless, real-world volume. Let's talk about what they're actually putting out there in the sea, because the numbers strain belief. When it's complete, this airport is planned to carry 4 full-length runways. Not 1, not 2, 4. And a single terminal covering 900,000 square meters, around 9.7 million square feet under one project. To picture that, imagine more than 150 full-size football fields laid out as one continuous terminal at the edge of the open ocean. The runways are being engineered to handle the Airbus, a 380, the largest passenger jet ever flown, a double-decker giant so massive, most airports on Earth physically cannot accept it. And the capacity? In just its early phase, this airport is designed to move around 43 million passengers a year, more than double what the cramped, century-old airport could handle at its absolute limit. The long-term vision pushes that toward 70, even 80 million a year. That's more people flowing through one island airport every year than the entire population of countries like Britain, France, or South Korea. So this was never just about giving Dalian a nicer place to catch a flight. Here's the part that blows people's minds. It's about transforming a single coastal city into the gateway for an entire region, a hub planted right in the geographic sweet spot between China, Japan, and South Korea. Three of the most economically powerful nations on the planet, with the open sea as its front yard. Whoever controls that gateway controls a colossal flow of people, cargo, and money across Northeast Asia. Now, let's zoom out, because this is where it stops being a story about one airport. The Dalian Sea Island is just the headline act. By the end of 2024, China had more than 260 airports already in operation, and over 20 brand new airports under construction simultaneously, representing tens of billions of dollars all at once. Not 20 planned for someday. 20 new airports being physically built at the same time. Now think about your own country for a second. How long does it take where you live to approve a single new runway? In much of the West, a major airport upgrade is a 10-year political war that ends in delays, ballooning costs, lawsuits, and everyone blaming everyone else. Meanwhile, China is manufacturing entire islands. That's the contrast that genuinely unsettles people. It isn't envy over a shiny terminal. It's what the project signals about raw capability. The ability to look out at the open ocean and simply decide we'll put land there, and then actually do it at this scale, on this timeline, is industrial muscle that very few nations on Earth still possess. An airport like this isn't only a way to move tourists. It's a statement about who can still build big in the 21st century, and who can now only talk about it. But here's where it gets really wild, and it's the part most coverage skips. An island that can launch the world's largest passenger jets can, in principle, launch a great many other things too. The enormous dredging fleets and land reclamation techniques used to raise a civilian airport out of the sea are the exact same fleets and the exact same techniques used to raise other, far more strategic islands elsewhere in the region. The technology that builds a holiday airport and the technology that reshapes a contested coastline into something with a military runway are fundamentally one and the same. So when defense analysts in Washington and elsewhere watch Dalian rise out of the sea, they aren't just admiring the architecture. They're studying a demonstration, live, public proof of exactly how fast and how large China can now turn ocean into territory. And that's a capability that changes the math of an entire region. There's one more cost, and it doesn't show up on the $4.3 billion price tag. When you suck millions of tons of sand off the seabed and dump it to build an island, you don't do it gently. Large-scale reclamation tears through marine ecosystems, burying habitats, clouding the water, and disrupting the fish and coastal life that existed there long before any engineer drew a runway. Authorities have pledged to minimize the damage, but the honest truth is, you cannot build 20 square kilometers of new land on top of a living bay and leave that bay untouched. It's a trade engineering glory and economic power, paid for in part by the ecosystem that used to live where the runways now sit. So that's what's really happening out in Jinzhou Bay. A city that ran completely out of land refused to shrink its ambitions. Instead, it went out into the open ocean and simply built an entire airport, 4 runways, a terminal the size of a small town, all conjured from open water on a 20 square kilometer island that did not exist a decade ago. If it works, if China has truly cracked the sinking problem that has haunted Kansai for decades, then Dalian will own the single largest sea-built airport on the planet and a blueprint for building runways anywhere on Earth with water and ambition. If it doesn't, if the sea wins the way it's slowly been winning against Kansai, then this becomes the most expensive lesson in the entire history of aviation. Either way, the rest of the world is going to be watching this island very, very closely. So here's my question for you. Is building a giant airport on the open sea the bold future of aviation? Or a slow-motion disaster just waiting to sink? Drop your answer in the comments, because I read every single one. And if you made it this far, you clearly love this stuff as much as I do. So do me a favor and hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell, because the next Chinese mega project I'm covering is even more insane than this one. I'll see you over in that video.